Okay. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. Um, we're working on speech anxiety here, and right now I'm talking with Jorge. Say howdy, Jorge.
Hello.
And Jorge is from Mexico, and um, let's see here. Um, he's has a degree in philosophy. Wow. He has degrees in finance and in philosophy, so he's a dangerous person. And he says he had planned on being a priest, and he ended up being a certified chief financial officer. Well, as a priest, think how he could have picked our pockets. He could have relieved us of our money like that.
Yeah, right.
And so, what's his problem? He's married. He has some children here, some children that he ought to be reading aloud to. I know that. Um, and his stuttering began in the university doing a presentation, which is very late. Um, the latest I've ever had is age 25, and mine was late. It was in the teens, but it was in the
You know,
earlier teens, and so
Lee, I was checking my notes, personal notes, because I used to write my notes personally each day, like a diary, but some putting some reflection and so on. And I discovered there that I put some comments regarding stuttering. I wanted to find what was the origin of my problem, and I found out that this problem was already in secondary school, but the the problem appeared to be serious for me in school presentations. So under pressure, this increased a lot. In my childhood, the problem was minor, was really mild, and it really became serious when I started to present in classes and so on, and also in formal presentations. This was the origin. And the perfectionism, I saw in your book that the two main reasons or main causes of this is the perfectionism and also the excessive concern on the opinion of the other.
exactly, exactly.
So this is my case. I think this is my case, and it started to be more severe in formal presentations. I don't have issues in informal conversations like these ones or with my family, almost nothing, but it appears to be something serious for me in formality, in presentations, in group formal conversations. Something happens in my mind. So I'm really, you know, clicking on your book, and I understand the issue and I understand the fact.
Now, you said before we started recording, you had mentioned John Harrison and that you had enjoyed his works, as have I, but you're also making noting some differences in our methods and John's. Could you comment on that just briefly?
For sure, for sure. No, I checked John Harrison's book, Redefining Stuttering and so on. I noticed I read a bit his work. I noticed that he's really heavy. Not simple. He's heavy. He analyzes very well the problem and so on. Also the hexagon, the everything is connected. The emotion, the mind, the society, behavior, and so on. But it is like a theoretical analysis.
You
The
say
difference,
theoretical analysis. Is that what you said?
yeah,
Okay.
theoretical analysis, nothing really practical.
Yeah.
Nothing practical. And with you, this is a different world. I started to read your book. This is something easily digested, something easily understandable. So for me, this is a big difference between your approach and the one from her. So of course, there is a complementation for sure, but the practical approach of your book is amazing. This helps. The other is to understand and to immerse into the book and something more in the air, something ideas, theories. That's fine. But the difference I found again your book is that your book is really touching the life, touching the problem, and also directing directing the person to follow, to go to a path, to
Okay.
recover, to have a solution. For me, I found it very easily.
All right, let me ask you some questions. Um, when is the last time that you can remember having what I call a bad incident, which means your speech was such that if a stranger had been standing there, someone who didn't know you, they would have said, "This guy has a serious speech problem," and therefore you were humiliated and embarrassed and so forth. When is the last time that your speech reached that low a point?
Yeah.
Can you remember?
Every day I have meetings, call meetings with USA team. Yesterday I had a meeting as usual regarding controls and so on, and I stopped in a word explaining the obsolete inventories, and I stopped in obsolete. So I repeated like 7 times the word obsolete. And for me, even if it is one word, for me it is, touch like, oh my god,
So
I
you said
didn't.
you repeated one word, something on the order of 7 times, and in your opinion, if a stranger had been standing there, they would have said, "This guy has a speech disability." Is that true?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
maybe I am perfectionist.
Well, look,
Because
now part of beating it, I'm writing this down yesterday. Repeated one word 7 times. I'm just putting this down. Now, the point is, um, part of beating it, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't view, I'm not saying you do not need to do what you did. You shouldn't have done it. There are many ways you could have avoided it. We'll talk about it. But um, I want to make the point that if you had, if you had just repeated it a few times, as I'm doing right now, and this is the way that most people speak, and they don't think that they have a problem. They if you talk like I'm talking right now, um 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 you would not be speech disabled in the eyes of the world. Now, in
I
your
confirm
eyes, you
that.
may be. That's terrible, and you don't have to put up with it. But I'm telling you, you cannot. And I'm not saying I will buy into your 7 repeats is too many, and somebody could say you had a speech disability there. But the point I'm making is that anything shy of a clear speech disability, you've got to chalk up to being human and forget it. Now, can you avoid it in the future? Absolutely. You can improve your speech by you don't ever have to do that. But when you make a mistake, you are one of us, and not one of us stutterers. You're one of us humans, and you're going to make mistakes with your speech, and that's fine. And you got to buy into it. Unless it goes to the level of appearing disabled, you got to say, don't worry about it. No one making record of this. No one's writing down, oh, Jorge messed up again. Let's report him to the police, or we're going to give him a demerit, or we're not going to give him a dessert. Nothing's going to, no one's keeping track of this stuff. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to remember. It's all nonsense. So you've got to dismiss your normal minor mistakes and forget them. We can work to improve them. You can absolutely eliminate 99% of them, but while you're doing it, don't sweat it unless it goes to the level of Jesus. My speech was uh, uh, I I couldn't say it. Now, this kind of speech is a disability, and so is repeating too many times. That's a disability. So is making faces. So is if I ask you your name and you go,
Yeah.
that's a disability. So I these things we're going to stop. Period. But the minor stuff, you're going to say, I'm human. Forget about it. Even though your minor mistakes may be fear driven for a while and other people's are not. They're simply like Obama going, and Obama's one of the great speakers of our time. I. Oh, yeah, he does that. Why is he such a great speaker? He speaks slowly, he pronounces his words, and he uses lots of stops. And every time he stops talking, he brings the listener to him, as I am doing right now to you. But you don't do that. You're like most people. You talk in a continuum, you never stop talking, you keep talking until you run out of breath, until you just can't say anything else, and you don't want to stop. And it's terribly, it's like a machine gun. It's terribly boring, it's uninteresting, and it's not good speaking. And you're doing that all the, and that's what everyone else does. So you're just one of the pack. You don't have to
I
be.
will tell you something. I will tell you something on this point. I was trying to understand what other people's, of course, the close ones, and in one part of your book, you recommend not to confess openly this problem and so on, just to very confident people. So I asked my wife, uh,
I can hear you. Keep talking. Keep talking.
yeah, I asked my wife uh, when she thought I was starting with this problem. And the answer she told me amazed me. Was a surprise for me because she told me that for me, I was speaking the whole time during these 10 years of relationship. I was talking with her in a normal way. Even though I repeat a little bit, for her, there was not an issue. So it confirms that we are human, and sometimes we think the other perceive our problem or my problem, and this is not the issue. This is not the case. She told me that for her, it was not an issue, but it was a surprise to hear that I had a problem in formal presentations. So it was kind of new for me, and an amazing surprise to discover that she was not really seeing me as an stutterer, as I thought.
Okay. Um, I have trouble understanding you now. Number one, because you speak English with an accent. That's not a crime, but it makes it harder for me. I don't hear well. I got hearing aids in here, okay? But that doesn't cure my hearing problem. It just increases the volume. My hearing still, I don't hear well. If you want to communicate with me in a way that I can understand what you say, you're going to need to improve your speech. And this will also, as you do this, in for the simple reason that you want me to understand what you say, that as you do this, you're going to learn a new style of speaking that's going to improve your speech. Period. In all situations. Number one, you need to slow down, all right? That's number one. You've got to slow down. Number two, when you speak, you have to think of pronunciation. You must, particularly when you're speaking in English, in Mexican, in Spanish, it may be another story, but but I would still urge you to think pronunciation as you speak. And the third thing that you need to do is insert stops. There's no such thing as a bad place to stop talking. You can do it
Yeah,
anywhere in the middle of any sentence or any thought. The point is, the more frequently you stop, the better you will be understood. The more power, the more conviction, the more compelling your comments will become in every conversation. You will become the dominant speaker in your group overnight.
yeah.
Literally.
It's
You will
interesting.
seem profound thoughtful, reflective, intelligent, well informed, simply by slowing down, pronouncing all your words, and stopping every 1 to 5 words or so. Now, I want you to try and speak to me the rest of this session. Every time you speak to me, I want you to be looking, huh? I want you to be looking at these words, okay? So I'm writing them down, and I'm going to ask you to write them down. These 3 words: slow,
Slow
pronunciation, and
pronunciation.
stop.
Yeah.
And I would like you to prop these up. I would like you to prop them up by your computer in front of your face so that when you're on a conversation with me or with anybody, you are looking at these words the entire time you speak. And I would like you to take your cell phone, and why isn't my cell phone coming on? And on the back of it, you have a transparent cover. Take the cover off and put these words on there on the back of the phone, and then put the cover over it. So when you answer your phone, you can flip it over, and as you talk, you can be looking at these words. I want you to do this 24/7.
Yeah.
24/7. And when you feel pressure of any kind related to speech, slow down more, pronounce more, focus harder, more severely on pronunciation and stopping. You can talk forever, flawlessly, if you'll do it in short enough increments. There's one other word. I didn't put it down here, but I don't think we need it because I think you already do it. And that is linking words. That helps prevent repeats. And incidentally, let me just tell you that when you have a or blocks, um, I don't think you need to write the word link down. But um, when you have repeat issues, there's an easy way to avoid repeats. If I'm going to go repeat after the first or second repeat, what I'm going to say right now is that my name is Lee Lovett, and I wanted to invite you to lunch with me today. In other words, you can hold the repeated syllable, stretch it out, and jam it into the next word. And you can do it as if it sounds like you are emphasizing the word. You may or may not wish to do so, but it sounds totally normal. When you do that, it doesn't matter what the word is. Metaphysics, Singapore, Switzerland. It doesn't matter what the word is. You can hold it and use it as a sound launch, and you go with the flow. We 99% of stutterers or more can sing without stuttering. And there are several reasons for that. One of them is they're focused on the lyrics and the tune and not on stuttering. Another one is they're holding their sounds. I used to be a singer when I stuttered. And I never stuttered when I sung. I sung solos in church, solos in the choir, solos, whatever. Fine, no problem. But If I had to say my name to introduce myself or the people in my group, I couldn't do it. But I was holding my notes. How are you? My voice is long gone. But the point is, I hold my notes. I hold my notes. So when you do that, singing with a real severe stutterers, which you're certainly not, we ask them in some cases to sing their way out of the problem. I will now tell you some things. I had a guy, a physics major in Norway, in a university in Norway, and he stuttered virtually every word. Had all his life, and he's 21 or something like that. And I got him to start singing. Well, the next time I had a session with him, he said, I just had the most wonderful week of my life. I said, why is that? He said, because I sung all week. And he said, and I told him, I said, when you sing, laugh when you do it because, offer to make people records and to give them autographs and whatever and to come to your performance next week. Make a joke out of it as well. And he did it with his student friends and he did it with his professors. And of course, this is a guy who took 10 minutes to say where wh- wh- where where is the book? People don't like to listen to that either.
Yeah.
They got a life to live. They got their own problems. It's not their fault. It's not yours, but it's not theirs either. So don't think that they owe you to stand there. They don't. So when you go, where is the book? And then everybody goes, yay! Way to go, artist, man. I love it, bud. And they loved it. He basically, and as he told me, he said, you know what? He said, I know why I don't stutter now much at all. And I said, why is that? He said, because I know I never have to get stuck. Now, you just had a word 7 times, a syllable 7 times. You don't ever have to do that again. But you've got to do what I'm asking you to do. I can't do it for
Slow.
you. I'm not a magician or a healer. I simply say, do it this way. If you do it, you'll heal yourself, and you
Yeah.
will. But in addition, I'm saying other things to you. I'm saying your speech is very average right now. It's like most people in the world. It doesn't have to be. If you'll follow this script right here, you can change your speech big time right now. You can I'm telling you, you will get people if you will do this. But you can't just do it when you talk to me or when you talk to people at work. You got to do it all the time. The only way that you're going to teach yourself, change your habit. You got a habit. What is your habit? When you don't think of an alternative, the habit of stuttering is pushing at you, it's clawing at you a little bit, dancing around behind you, waiting for an opportunity to get in your life. When you're thinking this, you're blocking the habit. You're holding it at arm's length. It can't reach you. Its arms aren't as long as yours. You're holding it away from you. And you know what happens? After a while, it falls down and it disintegrates. It just takes a while. It's harder to stop stuttering than to beat fear, but you can stop stuttering faster. Most people can stop stuttering completely within 3 months. Some of them within a month. And some of them take 6 months or a year or whatever, but we get it. We get it. But fear always takes longer. And in your case, we're talking about we should be talking about weeks, not months, to completely beat the repeat issue. I mean, to eliminate it, period, forever. But you need to stay on the program. We have our program is first base is stopping stuttering. So that's number one. We're going to eliminate all of that. You're not going to appear speech disabled anymore. And every time you have a problem, we're going to nail it. We're going to dissect it, and we're going to have specific ways to beat it. And There are a host of ways. It's not like, oh, you got to think of the right crutch. No, you don't. Most of the time, any crutch will work on a repeat or a block. In most cases, in most cases, it will. And if it doesn't, take five. Rephrase, use crutch six. Rephrase your thought. Start again. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. What were you saying?
Questions.
Throw the ball back at them. Don't sit there and go, don't do that. Those days are over. You got to stop it. You got to be a speech cop right now. You got a hat on. You got two guns on your hips, and you got six crutches in each gun, and you're shooting them
Yeah.
down. And you got a speech plan in addition to those crutches. Here's your speech plan right now.
Yeah.
You're
No
thinking this the whole time
apologies.
you're talking. Go ahead, talk to me
So
and think this.
I will tell you again what I explained to you a little bit earlier using this strategy: slow pronunciation and stop. So my comment was the following: Lee. It is clear for me that speaking about this issue is not easy for us. For me, it was really difficult to confess my problem, even with my wife. So for me, I used to keep it as a secret because I was ashamed of
So
that.
was I. I don't. I think everyone is.
So I wanted to think, I wanted to discover what my wife thought about this. And my surprise was that she didn't think about me as a stutterer. And I said, she told me that for me, yeah, I just repeat a little bit, but for me, she told me this is normal. So I was,
Exactly. And that's the way you should approach it.
and I told her, yeah, well, my issue is in presentations. Oh, really? She told me because for her, I am very secure, and I am. I have very clear ideas. I have very clear concepts. I'm very ordered, and I am very straightforward. And for me, it was surprising to discover that she didn't see me as a stutterer. So this is first.
I'm glad to hear that, and
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm not
yeah.
surprised, and I want you to know that my family didn't know I stuttered until they heard me trying to make a presentation somewhere.
Mm, yeah.
They never
The
heard.
so
They
the
didn't believe I
challenge.
stuttered. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is not an uncommon problem, though I think I had a much worse case than you. But when I broke down, it wasn't just a few repeats. I couldn't carry on a conversation at all. I just shut down. So it was different, but it was harder. But look, your situation, this slow pronunciation and stop, I can tell you now. In your comment, what you just said to me, you spoke a little slower, but not slow enough. You did pronounce a little bit better, but not well enough. And you didn't use stops.
Oh my God.
Now, have I sent you the starter kit?
Yeah.
Okay,
What you
pull
what
this
you
up. I
tell
want
me,
you to read to me. Pull up the reading document that I sent you. Things to
but this
read.
is
Some
I,
things to enjoy reading aloud.
what you sent to me, Elise, affirmations, crutch chart, how to practice crutches, and your daily declaration chart.
I
That's
didn't
it.
send you the reading?
No.
Oh my God. Hold on, I'm going to send it to you right now. Jeez.
I will tell you something curious. What you just told me regarding that I didn't practice a lot the slow pronunciation and stop reminds me, one time when one guy, we took a picture to him and he thought he was smiling, but he was really serious. And he said, I thought I was smiling, but the picture was really, he was really like angry. and he was thinking he was smiling. So this is my case. I was thinking I was applying the method, slow pronunciation and stop, but in reality this was just in my mind. As this guy, in the picture, he was
I,
thinking that he was smiling for the picture, but at the end it was just in his mind.
I
He
know
was
you think
smiling
you're
in his
doing
mind.
better, but that's why you have a coach. I'm just telling you, you're not doing it. You must double up. Cut your speed in half. Think pronunciation of all syllables and word endings in all words. You'll sound a bit labored, but do it. You need this to go through this exercise and build your muscles for pronunciation. Why? Because when number one, it will make you much easier for everyone to understand, and that will make you more effective. But number two, it's going to help you. It requires thought to do this. And
Yeah,
when you put your mind to work at something, there is no vacuum. A great metaphysician once said, evil cannot enter a mind already full. Now, when you think this or anything else, your mind is basically occupied at the moment. Occupado. It's busy. The stutter guy can't get in there. You'll never you'll never have that issue. Not when you're thinking this. It'll never happen. And if it does happen, you're not thinking this.
yeah. Okay.
So you need to practice this. Now, you need to demonstrate it better with me right now than you are. You're improving, but you're not there. I want you to over dramatize this. As a singer coach once told me, he said, Lee, if you want them to really like you got to be an extreme example of yourself. I want you, Jorge, to be an extreme example of a great speaker. Now, I sent you an email right now.
Yeah,
Open it up
I
and,
get it. Yeah.
and open that document up and save it to your desktop. And and I want you to, when you open it up, I'm going to ask you to read something to me.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, it says counting my blessings down here, right here, counting my blessings.
Counting. Oh, this is another mail. I have Appendix B. Some things to enjoy reading aloud.
Yes, that's right. Scroll down the page,
Oh yeah,
counting my blessings.
counting my blessings. Yeah.
Now, I want you to read the first 4 lines of that poem or song. It's both.
When I am worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings.
Hold it. For a first read, that was really good. That was
I like
really
it.
good. However, I think you lost your focus on the message at the end. You know why I say that? Because the most important word, what's the most important word in that paragraph, in that stanza?
Blessings.
Blessings. And what is the one word you went, blessing? Soft. You threw it away. Oh, no. No, 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 you can't do it. You were doing so great right up to that. I'll do it for you. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings.
Very good.
Now I want you to read the next 4 lines.
Okay. When my bankroll is getting small, I think of Gwen I had none at all. And I fall asleep counting my blessings.
Okay, good, good.
No,
Okay, keep going, keep going.
actually,
Finish
it's
it,
a different.
finish it.
I think about a nursery and I picture curly heads. And one by one, I count them as they slumber in their beds. Good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And keep going. There's four more lines.
If you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep. And you'll fall asleep counting your blessings.
Good. Good. Now, see, you're investing yourself in the message. When you
Yeah.
do that, you don't, that's all you need to do to be fluent. You don't need this book. You don't need me. All you need is what you just did, but you got to do it all the time. Now, why do you bother to deal with me or I with you for that matter? Because you have a habit that when you don't keep focus on your message, when you let yourself get concerned about what other people think or about the quality of your speech, and the habit gets in there and causes you a problem, you need crutches to make sure you don't injure your then broken legs until they heal. We want to heal them. And when they heal, we don't need the crutches anymore. I almost never use a crutch. Do I ever? Yes. Very, very rarely. But I know them, and I know in here, I'm never going to appear speech disabled again. I'm finished with it. Period. And I have been for over 40 years. And I'm not doing anything you can't do. Nothing. And it's not that hard, but it does take practice. Now, reading aloud, Jorge, you got kids 7 and 5 and 3, and this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is your opportunity to go online and pull out things to read to 7-year-olds, things to read to 5-year-olds, things to read to 3-year-olds, and you need to pull them up and you need to print them out. Things that are fun, and you're gonna read aloud to them every single night. You're going to read aloud to them individually or jointly, and you're going to teach them. You're going to get them to read too. They're going to go to school 3 grades ahead, and in their reading, and you're going to create a great bond with them, and you're going to have fun. And you want to be an actor. You want to be a thespian. You really want to be you know, cartoon things, and I mean, they're wonderful fables to read to children. There's Jack and the Beanstalk and a million things that, for kids that are wonderful things to read to them. And there are cartoons that are good too, that are all positive and upbeat and inspirational kind of things. And some of the things that I've just sent you are good for you, and some of them aren't bad for, like this song. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep. That's not a bad thing. And you say, well, say that. When I'm worried, and you're showing it to them. When I'm worried, say that. Read that to me. And they read it to you. When I'm worried, I can't sleep. And they read it to you. I can't sleep. Okay, let's. So I count my blessings, and you read. So you're going to teach them to read, and you're going to have so much fun, and you're going to teach them to pronounce their syllables, and not to run their words together, and to be clear when they speak. They're going to come out of the gate much better speakers than their peers and readers because of you. And you're reading aloud. Everything you read aloud, if you do it the way you just did this song, if you do it that way, if you make that kind of a commitment to it, you are improving your speech because you're developing a new habit, a new way of expressing yourself.
Yeah. I want to tell you something. Lee. Thank you for this. I admire you. I have seen your work. I have seen the videos you have published, and I admire your style, your energy, the energy you put in things. It's amazing. So I'm really happy to have some of your coach, of these sessions, and I really thank you for all your work, for this book, for your program, for your approach, for your personality. It's
Thanks.
amazing. Thank you for your good work, for this world, and for this
Well, you're
field.
very kind, and I appreciate all that. What I want back, the most thing I want back is I want you to be fluent forever. I want you to love to speak forever. I want you to adopt mind training as a way of life and to attack anger and anxiety and jealousy and hatred and greed and laziness and insomnia and all the problems that plague all of us. Attack all of those things with it, and then be able to say, I converted stuttering into a blessing in my life. That's the main thing I want from you. Secondly, if I write you an email 6 months after we quit talking, or a year or 5 years, if I'm still here, you'll reply to it. I want to know how you're doing. You'll tell me. Um, if I ask you, maybe I would also ask you to be a member of SAC. We're going to convert it into a charity association called the World Stop Stuttering Association. We're going to convert it into that, and it's going to be soon. And I want you to be a member of that forever, and it costs you $10 a month. I
I
used to
will.
charge $500 an hour in the 1980s, not for speech, but for being a lawyer. But I don't do this for money. I'm here to help, and I give away my time, and I'm happy to do it, and I get a lot of joy out of it. I really do. I if you try and you really improve, I'm rewarded. If you don't try, if you don't improve, then I'm not rewarded. It's very frustrating for me, and some people don't. So that's number one. I want you to support the community, and I would
Yeah,
like you to, when you can, come to the Speech Anxiety Masters, the SAM meetings on Saturdays. They're not every week, and in December, I think we're having one this Saturday. Yeah, and is this the first Saturday of the month coming up?
yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
we'll have one this week, and I think we're having one 2 weeks later, and then we start again in January. We're going to have them weekly, but we have them at noon New York time. So that would be 10, I guess, your time. And you should come to these meetings because they're inspirational. The meetings they're attended by people who are ex-stutterers like me and people like you who are fast becoming ex-stutterers. And we all help each other. And
Yeah,
we usually have a speaker who is someone who has stopped stuttering. Last week we had a young man who just got his master's degree in psychology. He's getting his working on his PhD now, and he's from the UK. And
yeah.
he was,
I was there. I was there for a bit. I heard
wasn't
the
it
success
great?
story. It was great. The way he spoke was really smoothly, and he put a lot of emotion and emphasis on the story of his childhood, and was amazing. Really was amazing.
I'm so glad. And that's a wonderful. It's a great group. And you know, by keeping your your foot or your hand in this community. It's the world's only community of ex-stutterers and those becoming ex-stutterers. And there are hundreds of us. It's the only one in the world. You can't find it anywhere else. So, you're part of that community right now. You're part of that community, and it's part of you. And you want to take advantage of it, and you want to contribute. At least when you attend these meetings and ask a question or make a comment orally or in writing, it helps. If when you stop stuttering for a month, we want to post your success story. If you don't want to do it under your name, Jorge, we'll do it under some other name. If you don't want a picture, we don't have to have it, but we'd like to, but we don't have to have it. But you need to post that when you've gone a month because it's for you as much as it is for others because you got to be willing to say, I'm finished with this. I'm finished with my stuff. That doesn't mean I don't have fears. I don't have any, but I mean you will have fears when you post a. You'll still have fears, but
I
it'll
have seen, I
could
have
take you
seen that you
6 months or a year, who knows, to get rid of the fears. We'll get rid of them. That's the second base. We'll get rid of them.
have seen that you have already like 150 success stories. So I wonder if some people have not been willing to publish his success
Many,
story.
many have not been. I would say I've probably gotten close to twice that many. But I didn't even used to ask them. I didn't get the idea originally. It just never occurred to me. And then I thought somebody said, you ought to post or somebody I think volunteered. He said, I would like to post my story out there, and because the guy had been such a terrible stutterer, it's not like it's a secret. Everybody in his life knew he stuttered.
Yeah.
And he was real proud to say, "Hey, I don't stutter anymore, mates." So his deal was different. But so we started posting them. And so, but some people won't post. But I say, listen, if you don't want to post on your name or with your face, we never put a last name up there unless they insist. A few people have said, I want my last name on there. So we put them up there. But most people, we just put their first name and their picture, and that's it. And of course, SAA, the Speech Hall of Fame, it's like, the Baseball Hall of Fame or the Football Hall of Fame or whatever. They got one for everything. Well, we got one for speech with people with speech disabilities. We got our own Hall of Fame, and that's it. And I'm the first one in there because I set it up. So, and I'm proud to be there, see? So, and I want the world to know I beat it. And I love beating it. And I say, give me the mic.
Yeah,
I don't care where it is or who's listening. I want the mic. My hand's up first. And
no,
that's
you
why
are
I want
great.
your hand up first every time.
I would like to reach your level. You are an inspirational guy regarding speaking, so I would like to reach your level. I need it. I need it really to improve. So I will work harder to improve, and I will follow your recommendations for sure.
Okay, listen. This is your homework
Yeah,
24/7. You got to look at this. Carry it around with you. Put it in your pocket. Put it on your phone. Put it in front of your computer. Look at it when you're talking. To your wife, too. You need to change your speech style now.
yeah,
It's
I
going to
agree.
take thought all the time. Then you need to read aloud to those children of yours as much as you can, at least an hour a day, and do your mind training treatments before you go to sleep, when you get up in the morning. Do you have your affirmations, your 10 affirmations,
Yeah,
and you're saying them 20 times each, twice a day?
I try to keep it. Yes, I don't.
There's
The
yes
most.
or no now. Come on, Jorge. Yes or no?
Yes,
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 yes. Okay.
yes.
You can. I'm not. You can
The situation.
amplify. You can explain, but you must answer questions first. I'm gonna be your lawyer, and I'll tell you, all of your life. Remember this, and teach it to your children. When people ask you a question, it's because they want to know an answer. Do not give them a speech. Do not give them an explanation.
Yeah.
Answer questions directly. Yes, no, I don't know. Those are three acceptable answers. Then add whatever you wish, but answer questions directly. Teach your children this too.
Agree. Situation is everything I have learned. Everything in life is it depends on. It depends on. You know. Sometimes you get, but it depends on circumstances, whatever. So sometimes it's not really right or left, but it depends on many things. No?
Exactly. Okay, now let me look at your schedule because I did not have you down today
I
and
was really
and I will
lucky.
say next week this time I will be getting a COVID test. I have to have another test, so I will not be available next week this time. Um, and then on the following week, that is December 16th. I can put. Do you want to talk weekly, or what do you think?
For me, weekly is perfect.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up your thing here. Ah, okay, okay, okay. However, it will not be next week. It'll be 2 weeks
Okay.
because I have a
Okay.
medical thing. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. But listen, I'm still not hearing you do this when you talk.
Slow.
I'm going to ask you a
Irish.
couple of more questions, then I'll let you go. Um, in the average day, in the average hour, how many minutes, if any, do you think negatively about your speech?
In an hour, negatively, because I speak positively or work
Negatively.
negatively, maybe 5 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't know.
Okay, let me put that down. Um, and where do you have your most pressured speech? What situations? Or let me put it this way, where do you feel pressured when you're speaking? When and where?
Yeah. Presenting, presenting to my bosses in USA when there is something formal, and also presenting to my colleagues locally in Mexico when I have to stand up and present for half an hour. This is for me not easy to manage in terms
Do
of
you,
fluency.
in the normal, between now and the next time I see you, will you have opportunities or will you be required, either or both,
Yeah.
to do some
I will,
presentations between now and then?
I will present on 15, I think. No, on 14th December, the result of November.
Okay. Four, 14th, the 14th of
14th
this month?
of this month,
Okay.
December. Yeah.
So that's a presentation. Now, you should by then excel in that presentation. Now, when you do this presentation, will you have a pad with notes in front of you of things you're going to cover?
I usually prepare a PowerPoint of about
PowerPoint.
10 slides or something
Are
like
you
that.
standing, are you doing this at your computer at home or are you doing this at an office in front of a group in a room with people there?
I do for the US team, the USA team. I do it in the by computer in
Okay,
the
so you do it by
computer.
computer. Okay, right where you look at the camera, right where you look at the camera, I
Mhm.
want you to put these words right beneath the camera. I just blocked your camera. Look,
Yeah,
now I have them in front of the camera. I can see them and you can't.
yeah.
See, I'm doing this. So I want you to put them right under the camera. So the whole time that you're talking, here's the camera, bump, 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 and this is right under the camera. The whole time you're making your presentation,
Okay.
that's right under the camera. And stick to the script. And if you have any occasion to be on camera between now and then, practice doing that.
Okay. So really,
Okay, you're going to take this to another level right now. Right now. You don't know how close you are to, maybe you do, but you're very close to first base anyway. First base, eliminating the repeats, the blocks, the uncomfortable silences. You're, we're close to that right now. So we want to get there. That's first base, and then we want to work on loving to speak. That's another subject, and that's why you come to SAM meetings. That's why you volunteer to make presentations everywhere. That's why you read aloud to your children and to yourself. That's why you consciously try and speak better all the time. This is a win-win situation. Speech and the mind, and your karma. When you take care of your speech and the mind, your karma improves too.
I agree.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. And don't forget, you got to post a book review for me. And
Yeah, I will do it. I will
all
do
right,
it
all right.
today.
And
Today.
I hope
So
to see
we
you
see
on
you.
Saturday. I hope to see you on Saturday.
Yeah. So see you in 16, same hour, right?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Have a
And I'll
nice
see you
day.
Saturday too. I'll see you Saturday too.
Yes.
Take care, mate.
Yes.
Enjoyed it. Take care.
Pleasure.